Good morning to all. Welcome back to Open Med School. Today we are going to discuss about medical documentation in the SOAP format. William Osler has said, observe, record and tabulate. So this is the essence of documentation. So let us see what are the documents. Admission, the history and physical examination is a document. Admission orders are documents. The progress notes, that once the patient is admitted, what is happening in the ward, that is a progress note. Or patient comes for review, again you are writing the progress note. Then the consultations, discharge summary, consent taken from the patient, and of course the death summary. These are all parts of the documents. Why documentation is important? Within the nightmare of a malpractice suit brought against a physician, a solid documented chart is one of the universally accepted and critical weapon for a physician. So, progress note is a very important thing. It is a legal document. So, there are different ways of writing notes. For writing progress note, one of the universally accepted format is SOAP. It has got advantages and disadvantages. So what is meant by this SOAP? S stands for subjective, O stands for objective, A stands for assessment, and P stands for plan. Some people add E also, that is education of the patient. So subjective data can be the presenting complaint. So the patient is admitted for a particular complaint, that is a subjective data. The past medical history, the medication history, family history, social and occupational history all becomes subjective data. We will take the example of a patient who is admitted for hypertension which is uncontrolled. The past medical history you can write as hypertension 10 years, diabetes mellitus type 2, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and benign prostatic hypertrophy. You write down in such a way that it is brief and at the same time the person reading or listening can understand. You should include the medication history in detail. Which are the drugs patients are on with the correct dosage. Here you can write hydrochlorothiazide 25 mg OD. If it is given in the morning, you should particularly write down like that also. The time of, at what time the drug is given. Second drug which is given here is carvedilol 12.5 mg daily, doxycycline 2 mg OD, Mucinex 600 mg 1 tab twice daily, metformin 500 BD, and naproxen 250 BD. So these are the drugs the patient is on. And in the family history you can write father and mother had hypertension if they are having hypertension, and in social history whatever is relevant like lives with alone or lives with the spouse, etc. So this is meant by the subjective data, that is whatever you obtain from the patient or patient's documents. Next comes the objective data. Objective means the findings that you get on physical examination or the laboratory data. Both comes under the objective data. Here you can write, if you know the previous value of the blood vitals, we can write down BP 3 months back 160 by 80. Now the BP is 162 by 90. Include the heart rate 76 per minute. Weight and BMI can be recorded. The salient investigation findings like serum sodium, serum potassium, calcium, the lipid profile, and blood sugar. So relevant investigations for the patient. In a hypertensive patient, these are the relevant investigation. If an ECG is available, you write the ECG. If the X-ray is available, you write down the X-ray findings. And if an echocardiography has been done, you can include the findings of the echo also. This is what is meant by the objective data. Now comes the assessment. With the physical examination and laboratory findings, you come to some conclusions and you have got some assessment. That is what is the assessment. Here the BP is 160, that is systolic is high, diastolic is also high. So you can, your assessment is that BP's goals are not met. Especially in a diabetic, the goal is 130, 80 is a preferable one. So here the one assessment that you have made after the examination, including the laboratory finding, is that the BP is not under control. Second is, you may think that this has got multifactorial reasons, or what are the reasons for the uncontrolled BP, that also you should assess. Here in the history you might have seen the patient is on Mucinex, which contains pseudoephedrine, which is a drug that can produce, or the BP can be elevated because of this drug. Second, he is on NSAIDs for continuous dosage, that is 250 milligram NSAID he is taking for probably some pain due to osteoarthritis. That is another reason. Third, we have to check clearly whether there is any non-compliance of the drug. So this is what is meant by the assessment. And again you will see that in a diabetic patient, the preferred drug is not a beta blocker unless there are compelling indications. Compelling indications for starting a beta blocker, like heart failure, or patient is having angina, or post-myocardial infarction. The drug of choice would have been here an AC inhibitor or an ARB. So being a COPD patient, again beta blocker is not the best drug. He has got a benign prostatic hypertrophy, so an alpha blocker, doxazosin, is a good choice, there is no problem. However, dizziness and headache can occur, and it is preferable to give the drug at night. And diabetes mellitus, you can continue metformin. So this is the assessment you have made. Then what is the plan? You have to spell out what is the plan for this patient. So our plan here will be, as beta blockers are not the preferred choice, we will taper and stop the beta blocker. So that is an important point. Should not suddenly withdraw the beta blocker. Second is, the Mucinex contains pseudoephedrine. So discontinue Mucinex, or you give guaifenesin yellow. And as we have already mentioned, in a diabetic patient, an AC inhibitor or ARB is the preferred drug. So you will start lisinopril. Metformin will continue, and alpha blocker, that is doxazosin, you will give at night so that the side effects can be reduced. And once the patient is on a AC inhibitor or an ARB, he has to check the renal functions regularly, and remember that this can produce dry cough and angioedema, and this has to be discussed with the patient. That is our plan. And as already mentioned, in addition to the SOAP, so that is a classical description, that is SOAP, subjective, objective, assessment and plan. Some people include an E also. It is always preferable to have the E. E stands for the education of the patient. So not only that you document that this has been communicated to the bystanders also. So you educate the patient. So what are things you should educate? One is emphasize regarding sodium restriction, encourage physical activity, and tell them that you may develop cough, and a dry cough is not manageable, you may have to change over to ARB. And again, hydrochlorothiazide, the patient is on, he can produce hyponatremia, and also can produce hypokalemia and produce cramping, and this information should be given to the patient and document that also. So this is how you prepare a SOAP note for a patient who has been admitted for uncontrolled hypertension. Just like this, for any symptom or any disease patient is having, Once admitted, the progress note should be written in the SOAP format. Hope it was useful to you. We'll meet next week. Thank you.